So, yeah, spawning in the top right position as our blue Protoss player is going to be WhiteRa. He's going actually for a gateway opening, which is kind of cool to see. And in the bottom left position as the red Zerg is going to be LiquidRet. I just cut the delay off because my stream decided to... OBS is a little bit temperamental occasionally, so I figured restart it real quick. Turn the delay off. This way, you guys don't have to wait 2 minutes for the stream to go back live. We don't have quite as strict rules for RSL since all these players are incredibly trustworthy and classic. But yeah, Gas is going to come out now for Ret. Not a bad decision. He sees that there's no expansion from WhiteRa, and that's one of the more important things. And WhiteRa, he's going for the gas. He's getting that cybernetics core. And he does have a couple of options, Tim. He's not going to open with the Zealot. So what this means is his prize is going to be Sentry. And I feel like he might go for something like a really fast... It might go for something like a really fast... And it's going to be the Nexus, but... It should be going into Sentries, maybe. Is he going to get a Stalker? There's a lot of questions here. Straight Mothership Core, which is fine. It's going to give him enough energy for Photon Overcharge when the Nexus completes. And that's really the most important part because he's going to be able to actually deal in an effective manner with early Zergling harass. That's what the best thing about the Mothership Core is. And Ret, you know, he's going for the speed to be able to be defensive about it. He actually missed 4 gas. It's kind of funny. He has to send the drone back in for a second. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's pretty funny to me. And there's the speed now starting for Ret. And you know, it's kind of funny because you can put a player that likes to be as greedy as Ret, and he would play the same way that he did the last game if you gave him the chance. But you know, forcing him to get the speed because he's like, well, I mean, what if I get 4 gated or something? You gotta have access to some gas. But WhiteRa is gonna get us another gateway up, a 3rd gateway, and I'm curious if WhiteRa is gonna try to get a 4th gateway and go for some 2-base pressure again because that worked so well for him on the previous map, and this map is even smaller, so getting units across the field is even easier than before. And there's the 4th gateway behind the mineral line, and you know, normally 4 gateways is standard for 2 bases, so it's not like you could say, well, you know, 4 gateways means he's gonna all in. But it does mean that he's not going to open with some crazy fast tech. A lot of Protoss players have actually been only going for 3 gateways with a fast forge to be able to move into upgrades or at least get their tech out pretty quickly. So the fact that WhiteRa built that 4th gateway and put it in this position could be indicative that he wants to get a bit aggressive. This probe, unfortunately, is going to get caught. Ret is making a lot of Zerglings now that his speed is about to complete. And I think this is smart. This is his way to defend against possible aggression. I will say, however, that this is going to help WhiteRa stay close in terms of economy. He sends out another probe. Oh, Ret, did you see that probe? Oh, WhiteRa. Oh my god, the ninja probe. Oh no, it's going to be spotted. WhiteRa will not be able to escape with that probe's life. So he's lost two scouting probes so far. And now the Zerglings, oh, they run in. They get it on top of the sentry. Oh goodness, WhiteRa. These Zerglings are going to be able to do a ton of damage if they can get in here. And well, the Stalker's going to get warped in, but that's going to immediately get focused on. A lot of these probes are going to take some serious heat. Good probe surround will kill the Zerglings off, but oh, he lost quite a bit there for that. 6 probes, just actually 4, well, technically 4. 2 of those probes that died earlier were scouts, so could have been a lot worse for WhiteRa. I'll give him that. Overlord will likely die for Red. He wants to scout, see if there's anything else. And total worker count, 42 drones for 31 probes. So Red, he did a little bit of damage. He did make all those speedlings. He probably didn't want to make them, but the fact that he was forced into getting Zergling speed, you know, gave him a bit of a reason to say, hey, gonna throw in a little bit of a punch, gonna try to make something happen. And injecting now, just basically pumping out a lot of units. And it looks like Ret, he wants to get aggressive. He's going for the lair. He's getting a lot of roaches. He's getting a lot of Zerglings. And I mean, aggressive as you can be, really, because it's going to be more for defense. Ret, he's going to see this coming out now. He actually sees this pylon. And this is going to be rough because there's a lot of sentries here. So there's going to be a good amount of force fields. Nothing like in a robotics facility is in play, though. It's going to be done soon, but there's not going to be any immortals with this push. He does, however, have double time warp. And by that regard, he also has a time warp plus a recall, or he has 2 recalls available to him. So WhiteRa, he's got some options. He's actually just going to back off. He's forced out a lot of units from Ret. He forced out roaches. He forced out 11 roaches, actually, which is quite a bit. He forced out about, not too many speedlings, only 8 of them. But this is This is going to be interesting, actually. And the Mothership Core is attacking the Roaches. He doesn't have anything like a Photon Cannon, but once he gets an Immortal out with Force Fields, Rhett's not going to actually be able to break this forward position. He's going to take out the Pylon. There's a Zealot being warped in to deal with that Zergling. But yeah, there's an Immortal out here. This is going to work. Time Warps, actually. He wants to get right on top of these Roaches. As long as that Immortal can get the shots off, it's going to be great. Force Fields the other Roaches in, and WhiteRa's not actually going to lose any valuable units at all, just a Zealot or two. He keeps all of his sentries intact. He has that Immortal. He's going to Chronobus out another Immortal, and I feel like he could transition very well into a 2-base timing attack off of this, just pushing with either +1 attack or 2 Immortals, because right now it's just a very small number of Roach Ling, and Rhett, he is getting more Roaches, he's getting more Zerglings. He's kind of recognizing that he can't be quite as greedy this game. However, he is still constantly droning despite producing units, but WhiteRa, a little bit of a supply block, denying him that third Immortal could slow him down enough for Rhett to get enough defenses. So, a lot to see. WhiteRa getting a cannon, I think, is a very smart idea, and he's actually just going to switch straight into an Observer, so he doesn't look like he wants to go completely all in. Actually, this big Sentry Warp in, he could go for a big attack. He's adding on 4 gateways. WhiteRa, he is getting frisky. I do like the Sentry because, the Observer, because it is going to allow him to deal with anything like Fast Burrow. And if we saw something like Swarm Host out of Rhett, WhiteRa would be in a much better position to defend it if he did have the Observers, of course. So I think we might see a Warp Prism afterwards, just for reinforcements. If not, it's just going to be all the pushes based on these Pylons. The Zerglings and Roaches trying to get in. The WhiteRa actually walled himself off with Pylons. The Cannon dies. The Stalkers are doing their best to hold here. WhiteRa is going to have to come in from the back. If he can catch these units, that'd be great. Nice, going to Force Field. Can't let those Roaches get away. Great amount of damage being done here by our Ukrainian Protoss player. And I think WhiteRa, he's done a good amount of damage, but his Proxy Pylon's being taken out. And right now, he's going to have to go back into Immortal production. Rhett is getting out a lot of units. And WhiteRa, once he gets third Immortal out, he's going to start one-shotting these Roaches. However, the problem is, with +1 attack being done for them, they're going to be a little bit rougher to deal with. The speed upgrade just finished. And I feel like, yeah, WhiteRa, get that extra Immortal out and just go for it. I don't think he meant to build that. He's going to need to cancel that gateway to get the Immortal out, though, unless he wants it purely for defense. But he's getting ready to bust out. Is he gonna finish that gateway? I'm really curious. The Immortal's done. Can it even leave through that? Yeah, he's gonna cancel it. And now the Roaches are actually coming in from the south side. He's got a bunch of Roaches coming in from the north as well. The Force Fields are gonna block off the reinforcing Roaches, but one of those Immortals is getting so low. WhiteRa will lose one of his Immortals. The second one is looking very low as well, though. Oh, while Rhett is getting the perfect position and getting a full sandwich on this army. Somebody get me some pickles, because this is looking salty. The Roaches are busting into the natural. WhiteRa throws in the GG, and Rhett is going to take game number 2 in this best of 3 match between him and WhiteRa. So currently that's going to even up the score of this best of 3 series, 1-1. The winner of this next map is going to go up against Jim Credible for the third set of our winners match of this group. So I'm kind of curious to see who's going to be able to actually pull this off. You guys are watching the RSL Season 5 Group B. I'm your caster for today, Nathanias. Don't go anywhere.